All right, today I'm out making an update video on my cows. So I haven't posted a video in a while because I've been working on fence and processing meat birds and just been busy. So here we are. Ended up fencing this whole section. I had run the cows through here earlier in the year using temporaries and really no hard fence to keep them from getting out. I put in three hot wires in this section. I have 5 up there. Actually 4 hots and a ground up there, but we have 3 down here, and we are working on this area. This area was totally basically flooded from the beavers for 4 or 5 years. We did get a permit to remove the beavers, and well, this area up here was not, down in there, to remove the beavers and break up their dams. So broke the dams by hand, put temporaries down, ran the cows through, and the beavers left. They haven't been there. I suspect that they were moving anyway, and the timing of the permit was perfect. So now it's time to reclaim some of this into pasture. This spot is outside the fence. I cleared this, it would be approximately 1.5 years ago. It was brush. And no, it's not a huge spot, but working on small acreage, every square foot of grass we can gain is a net benefit. So this, it's kind of like a, I don't know, half of a bank, but somewhat flat. I would guess that it's 150 feet deep by, call it 40 feet wide. So that's where the cows are hanging out now. I unrolled hay, so that'll get them up here and give them some hay to eat, and hopefully we get a good manure concentration. You can see we have quite a bit, and maybe by next spring this additional piece will be much better. This chunk of flat here, I'm not going to feed any hay down in there. That's really poverty ground. It's, even though we didn't have rain for 68 days, it never completely dried up. There's a lot of broom sedge in there, and just not really great on this section right here. We're going to jump in the mini truck, and I'm going to take you down and show you the rest of it. See, she's in heat again. I guess it's been 21 days. No, actually that's No Name, not Bobette. But anyway, so we're reclaiming this, and I'm going to make another video on what some of the results of something I tried that was different a little later. But we haven't, because of the, the cows busting through the fence and getting out in that other video, haven't made an updated video on what our results were and something that we tried. Well, let me see if I can drive this. This is a little treacherous, so please bear with me. Trying to hold the camera and get down here. So we're going down the bank, a little steep. Take it easy. So you can see this spot right here, which is outside the fence, that never even dried up without rain. So definitely wet. I did fence this in because, well, it just kind of looks like it should be fenced in, and the hopes are that cattle coming up and down the bank, and maybe the grass will spread down the bank a little. But as we get out into here, we haven't grazed this and cleared it this spring, bush hogged the willows down. A little stuck trying to get through the creek. But so their current section is absolutely huge and not what I'd want, but I can't run temporaries up that bank anywhere else. So I have them broken into right here. This is the where the temporaries are. So I think we would be better off if we could tighten them up in here. We'd get better results. But for this season, as we're coming to an end of grass production, I can at least use this to get my cows out of the other pasture that needs to recover. It was the cows getting out, they should have been rotated down here about 3 weeks ago, but without having more fence up, I didn't feel comfortable with it. So I actually ended up grazing them on areas that I didn't want them on. So maybe we'll see some negative effects of that. This got rutted up pretty bad when we were clearing all the willows. It was mostly just those willows. So I did run a tiller through here, and I shouldn't be grazing it right now, but this is secondary concern compared to the other pasture that's there. And you can see in there, like right there, and there is some nice grass coming. I don't know what my what the results are going to be from me doing this, but I know that the pasture up there is more important than the pasture down here. This will recover. This always stays moist, and there is some native grasses that grow. I did throw some rye and oats in the mix. It was quite taller before they came in yesterday and took it right down. So whatever we get out of it, we get out of it. I can always seed rye, throw some more winter rye in it one more time. Germinates at 40 degrees. But trying to keep cows out of our other areas that are behind somewhat, or give them as much time as possible. You can see we have some cattails over there. They don't touch them, but there are sections of okay grass, and we're feeding hay anyway due to not having rain. So these chunks of bits and pieces of green grass are better than nothing. One other thing is what I would like to do is switch my grazing practices to more total grazing instead of take a third, leave a third. And I'm going to show that in a different video, the results, sort of. But we can't do that down here because I don't know if you can see along that bank, there's brackens, and as long as I keep hay and something else for them to eat, they're not eating them. I watched them for several hours a couple times, and they stay right away from them. Brackens are awful to cattle, and they're here. Unfortunately, I have to live with them because I don't know of any possible way to get rid of them other than spraying something that's not what I'm doing. So we're not spraying. So we're into here, and we did catch a 1 inch of rain a week ago, but that's not what's responsible for all this growth. This is a little bit wetter, and chopping up those willows with the brush hog and getting a little bit of that organic matter down on the ground, and then probably running the tiller, it recovered fairly well, even without rain. So it is promising. See right there is a patch of poverty grass or broom sedge. But, you know, this is just a reclaiming a poor, some poor ground. So the other part of that is the water source is the creek at the moment. I don't know if we'll get away from that, but it shouldn't be too bad to use that 2 or 3 times a year. And we don't have a massive herd, so the manure load's not going to be anything insane. I'm going to walk into here. So this will be our next move. Our next move is going to come into here. And we have some decent looking grass over there. Kind of mountainous and rough. But in here, not so much. So I placed a round bale there, and I'll unroll that. We'll get some fertility down and get something out of that, hopefully for next year. This is where I placed a bale earlier this year, and in the middle of it we have some grass coming up. Didn't get to spread it out great, so you know, it takes time bale grazing like that, but you know, this section right here is beautiful, and they're gonna love this. I didn't seed this. This is just whatever came up. I don't even know what grass it is. It's grass that was underwater. So we'll get that. That bank is might not look like much, but trying to climb that, me personally, and get through that brush, to get temporaries through there to be able to section these areas smaller is not in the cards right now. But I can eventually, you know, over time clean some of that up. And the cows do browse these willows pretty good in the spring. So there they are. And we got the fence, so it's hard fenced all the way back to the other one. So now, if you know, temporary is just interior is definitely the way to go. Here's a section where I dug a small dam out. There's the debris of it by hand. But yeah, so there's another view of backing into there. There's some grasses in there. Cows will get some good nourishment out of this, I hope. And we are supplementing hay. So whatever they can get out of here, they're going to get out of here. We won't be daily moving down in this area. We're going to just keep them in here until the grass is looking pretty thin, and then we're done for the year. So it's probably not the best regenerative practices, but it's what I have to work with. And I think that we get painted into boxes a lot where, you know, people will, nope, you have to do this, move every day, or move 4 times a day, or, you know, just let cows totally destroy something. And while I like those practices, they're not always possible in situations with less than ideal pasture area. And if cows weren't here, what would be here? Nothing. This is never going to be a building site. It's never going to have a house on it. It's marshy kind of at times of the year. So we can, run cows down here, grab some days, some sunlight, and it's going to be a definitely diverse diet for them. They have a few different species of plants to eat, and this may not ever become super productive forage down here, but we can definitely get some time and collect some sun and turn it into beef. A lot of this is really weedy, but so down here we will be next year take a third, trample a third, leave a third, somewhat, as much as we can, because it's too big for the amount of animals we do have in these sections, but the property itself is really not, if that makes any sense. But here we are on the other side of the creek, a little bit of cows, hooves, and we've definitely seen some improvements on running the cows back here, even though they've only been through here. This will be the second rotation through here for the year. Thanks. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up.